Hello and welcome to Sensational South. I'm Harish Upadhyay. This is the show that gets you the flavor of South India. Our top story this week comes from Karnataka. The protest demanding 2A reservation for Panchamasali Lingayats has turned violent this week in Belagavi. Protesters who were planning to block the national highway were lathi charged by the police. Many people were left injured. The BJP is backing this protest. The state government is saying that they are waiting for the Supreme Court to decide on certain matters related to reservation. On the other hand, we've had several OBC groups now coming out and saying that the government should not yield to this protest. So what's the way out? Will it open up a Pandora's box in the state? We'll debate this, but first the story.
Protesters blocking the national highway. Police resorting to lathi charge to maintain law and order. Belagavi witnessed chaotic scenes both inside the assembly and outside as the Panchamasali 2A reservation protests intensified. While the BJP disrupted the house multiple times, demanding 2A reservation for the dominant Panchamasali Lingayat community in the OBC cluster, outside the house, it was Seer Basava Jayaprakash Swami who led a huge protest that turned violent. Just before the assembly polls last year, the Bommai government abolished the 4% reservation for Muslims provided under 2B category and had reallocated 2% each to the Lingayats and Vokkaligas under new categories named 2C and 2D respectively. But the Panchamashalis have been demanding quota under 2A category, which is for the most backward classes. This decision was challenged in the Supreme Court, and the BJP government in 2023 assured the apex court to maintain status quo till the judgment is passed. Now the Congress argues that till the Supreme Court decides, it can't take up the Panchamasali reservation matter. The Chief Minister reminded the Houses that without a report from the Backward Classes Commission, the state can't decide on reservation for any community. He called it unconstitutional.
Everyone has the right to protest in a democracy. No one can snatch that right. But the pressure you are putting, I won't call it a demand. But it's pressure. The pressure you are putting is against the Constitution. Because if anyone wants to obtain the opportunities of the backward classes, they should comply with whatever Article 340 says.
The BJP has termed the Congress government as anti-Lingayat.
In the House, we will demand a judicial probe in the case and for the police officers to be suspended. The government, which has raised its hands on the Panchamasalis community that feeds people, should apologize immediately.
Seer Jayaprakash Swami has threatened the Congress that the party would face the wrath of the community in the next elections if they continue with this stance.
As we protested in large numbers despite the government trying to prevent it, the government used anti-Lingayat officials and deliberately attacked us with an ill will. Panchamasalis are not ones to fear such threats. The protests were peaceful up until now, but they will turn revolutionary now.
Several OBC groups have now urged the government to not yield to the pressure by Panchamasali agitators, making the matter complex for the government.
To debate this further, we have our eminent panel joining us today on the show. We have Ms. Sudha Halkai, the spokesperson of the BJP. We have Ms. Lavanya Balal, the spokesperson of the Congress party. We have senior journalist Mr. Ramakrishna Upadhyay joining us on this show. Lavanya, we've seen this entire protest turning violent in Belagavi. We've seen the protest itself happening multiple times, not just during this government, the previous government as well. Why is it that it's getting so difficult to manage it? Why did we see such violent scenes in Belagavi?
It's very unfortunate that protest turns violent. There was stone pelting, which was followed by lathi charge in Belgaum, and now we have the other communities protesting against giving in to these demands by the Panchamasali community. You know, I think they started the first time, I think in 2021, a proper delegation had come to the then CM demanding for inclusion in 2A rather than the 2B that they are in right now. now. And if you notice, party leaders or leaders from the community across different party lines, be it BJP or Congress, are all participating in this or have participated actively in demanding a change from 3B to 2A.
3B.
But the stand is very clear, at this point of time, we will have to wait for the guidelines of the Supreme Court and proceed accordingly. All that we can tell everybody is to maintain peace because, Harish, Dr. Naganagowda Committee, LG Havanur Commission, or the second time when Sri Venkateswamy Backward Classes Commission and Justice D. Chinnapareddy report, all of these reports have recommended how it is not correct for any government to include this community into A. This was a 4 different commissions and reports over a different period of time which have suggested that, and it is also the guidelines of the Supreme Court. I think that matters in this issue. I hope as a Kannadiga, as a person in the state, that this will not open a Pandora's box, that this will be resolved peacefully.
Yes, one hopes so. Ms. Sudhalkai, the state government under Basuraj Bommai gave them this reservation. They were back then as well demanding 2A, but your government did not. How is it that very conveniently now the BJP is saying that we are backing this protest? You had all the power, you had the time to act on it when you were in power till 2023.
Harish, let me just a few seconds. I'll brief you what Panchamasali community is. Panchamasali community people are the one who follow Jagat Jyoti Basavanaji and who have followed his preachings, that his work is worship, and they know nothing other than that it is work is worship. And the largest sector of the Lingayat community is carried by the Panchamashalis, who are into the farming. That is they are the Annadatas. And the agitation now, why the seer, that is, Jagadguru Basvajaya Mrutyunjaya Swamiji has taken up this issue is so that the Panchamashalis, the Annadatas who form a major sector in the Lingayats, they be benefited for the education and the employment, and they are very much right in it. Okay, this is, and they are into the bhakti movement. They are not into bloodshed or violence or anything. They are into the bhakti movement. Now, this
ma'am, if it's education and employment, why not 3B, ma'am? It gives you the same opportunity.
No, because it was earlier 5%. Now when they come into the 2A, it comes into the 15%. Because I told you they come into the larger sector of this Lingayat community, one thing. Second thing, now it's been 3 to 4 years. Like this has been more than a decade they have been asking, and since past 3 to 4 years, Jayaprakash Swamiji is taken up the lead role in this. And during our tenure, they had done a Padayatra of 700 kilometers. There was no violence, there was no bloodshed.
Yes.
Okay. And one more time, there was assembling of 10 lakh people in Bangalore. Absolutely peaceful agitation was carried out under the BJP government. Now, in Suvarna Sauda in Belgaum, it was a simple issue where, the seer had asked, we want to give a memorandum to the Chief Minister, and that too the people had requested they want the Chief Minister so that it will be given in front of them, because this community had backed up this election and they had supported the Congress government. So they don't, their right of asking to CM to come to the stage and take the memorandum was very rightful, and it is absolutely constitutional. When they asked the Chief Minister, as usual, he didn't turn up. Instead of that, they asked at least allow 2 of us to go into the Suvarna Sauda and give us a memorandum. They didn't allow for that. So then the Chief Minister gives the instructions to the police department.
Says the Chief Minister was willing to meet a delegation of 10
absolutely
people.
Absolutely no. They are lying, white lie. They are telling. The seer himself, he told it on the television that he was requesting the police personnel, allow just 2 of us to go inside, and they denied that thing. And the Chief Minister gives instructions to do the Ladi charge in such a way that they have been wet black and blue. They've right, left, they have not seen where the senior citizens are there, they have not seen the women are there, and more than 25% of the people who were there, I know, they were done with the Lati charge. What rights they have got to do this? And earlier also, Harish, let me tell you, Mr. Siddaramaiah, he lets go of the PFI accused, 1,500 PFI accused people, he let them free. And the cases which was
some
filed
horrific
against the
scenes
Hubli
from
riots,
Belgavi for
they
sure.
Have left, they want to take up the cases
I'll quickly
against
bring in
them.
Mr. Ramkrishna
And
Upadhyay.
now they want to, the peaceful
Mr. Ramkrishna Upadhyay, 2 aspects here. One, how this protest was managed. Could the government have managed it better, had a better dialogue with them? And second, does it now open up a lot of demands from various other communities, the Wakaligas, the Kurubas and others? We've already seen the OBC Federation writing to the government saying that the government should not yield to this pressure.
Harish, before answering the question, I just would like to refer to what the BJP spokesperson was saying. This Panchamasali, she was saying that the devout followers of Basavanna. If that is so, Basavanna was against the caste system.
We are not into the caste system. The caste system is given by the
don't
Congress
interfere with
government.
me. Please
No,
don't
sir,
interfere
no, sir,
when I'm
correct
talking.
you. 4%
I didn't
was
interfere
given
when
by
you were
the
talking,
Congress
madam.
government.
Just listen to me. Just wait. So
Ma'am, let him finish. I'll give you opportunity to
Basavanna.
respond. Let him
Yes,
finish,
not
ma'am.
making this kind of demands. So it was against the ideology that he propagated, and if they claim to be his devout followers,
That's why we have done a peaceful agitation, sir. We have not gone into violation.
Madam, please wait. Let me finish. After that, you
Ma'am,
can
let
speak.
him finish.
You can
I'll
say
allow
whatever
him
you
to
want
respond.
say. Just give me a chance, okay? Hang on. So, my point is that
Yes, sir, go on.
if they claim to be followers of Basavanna, they're going against his wishes, number one. Number two, we clearly make out that Mr. Siddaramaiah is trying to play politics in the in the Lingayat community. He knows that Panchamasalis are not happy with the BJP, and last time the BJP didn't give them enough seats in the Lok Sabha, and also in the 3 by-elections. Shigaon was one they were asking for, which was also not given to them. And that being the
Yes.
case, they are unhappy with the BJP. Now, Siddaramaiah wants to take away the part of the Lingayats into the Congress camp. And that's the reason why he has promised that, we will give you a reservation. Now, but why did he promise in the first place? He knows that it is not possible to fulfill the demands in the first place. And secondly, on what basis are you trying to give them more, more percentage of reservation? Now, you have a caste census done. You haven't even opened that. But for all practical purposes, everyone knows the population of Lingayats, Wakaligas, all those major communities have gone down. If the population has gone down, this reservation should be brought down. How come you are trying to give them more? These are the issues which people are going to ask. Just because you want to please them, just because they are a very powerful community, and you promise them
So
something,
most of the
and
people
then
are
you allow
poor over here only because
then
of
allow
some
the-
leaders are there. You can't
then
take
you allow the
powerful
them
community.
to hold that kind of a demonstration there, and more than 1 lakh people gather there, and you can't even control them. And now it's backfired. The fact that he was trying to woo them, now I think it's completely backfired, and he will have to face the consequences of what he is trying to do.
Yes.
Harish, I just want
Ms.
to get in.
Sudhakar,
Harish,
as
just
Mr.
10 seconds,
Ramakrishna
10 seconds.
Upadhyay pointed out, yes.
10
I
seconds,
think
I'll tell
BJP
you the
government
question
should
you had
learn
asked.
how
Just
to
a minute,
participate in
Harish.
a debate. Madam, you should not
Sir,
speak
please
when
don't
someone
tell me.
else is
Please
speaking.
please don't teach
Okay.
us this, sir.
I
I
think
am
you
a very well
understand
qualified
the
person.
principles of
I am a
Okay.
very
how
well
the debates are
qualified person
conducted.
and understand this is the pain and agony what
Okay.
the Panchayam
Okay, let's
Sali
not
Sali
digress.
Say what you want to say when you want.
Ms.
When
Sudha,
you got a
quickly
chance,
make that
madam.
point.
Yeah, Harish, you had asked me what the BJP government had done.
Ms.
Mr.
Sudha,
Bommai
quickly
had given
respond, yes.
2D. Yeah, 2D he had given because the Congress government had given 4% of reservation to the Muslims, which is against the constitution, which is religion based. So that time, Mr. Bommaiji, what he had done is that he had removed it and he had given 2% to the Lingayats and 2% to the Wakaligas. And this, the supporters of the Siddaramaiah
Ma'am, what
had
stopped your
gone to
government
the
from
Supreme
adding them
Court.
to 2A then?
I'll tell you, 2D they had put because 4%, that is 4% reservation for the Muslims. They removed it. Then these people, the supporters of the Siddaramaiah government, had gone to the court and they had got the stay for that. So ask the Congress government to take back that case. What they've got it in the Supreme Court, and the thing is very simple. The CR has asked, okay, let them give us 2D for us. Later on, we'll ask for the 2A. So at least let them do that. Why they're fooling the people
Okay.
of Karnataka then also and now also? And in spite of that,
Okay.
they're coming into the bloodshed with the
One
Bhakti
pertinent. Okay,
is
one
absolutely not
pertinent
accepted
point that
because
everybody is
they're
raising.
against the farmers, they're against the women, they're against the Lingayat, they're against the Dalit.
Okay.
And what for they are today in the government? Let them
Yeah,
just
yes,
say.
you've made that point. One pertinent question, ma'am, that everybody is raising. There is a caste census. The cabinet, it's in front of the cabinet. This state government at least is saying that we are bound to implement it. Shouldn't then the state look at all the aspects of this caste census and if it's required, rework the whole caste matrix? Because we've seen the OBC saying do not yield to this pressure of the Panchamasali Lingayats. The Kurubas are asking for more percentage of reservation. Would it make sense then to just give it to one caste, ma'am? Wouldn't it open up Pandora's
Harish.
box?
No, Harish, we are very clear. We are not against the reservation of any of the OBC communities. We are very clear in our point. Our thing is what 4% they had given reservation for the Muslims, that they have to remove because it is unconstitutional. The constitution doesn't give the rights to give
That's in
reservation
front of the
based on
Supreme Court
religion.
anyway.
That is because these supporters, the supporters of Siddaramaiah had, Mr. Mohammad Rasul had filed the case in the court and he is a strong supporter of Siddaramaiah. Let them take back the case. Let 2D be implemented to the Panchamasali. Then they'll go for the 2A whatsoever in the future. Taking the support in the elections and
Okay.
today
Harish,
they do the lathi charge for the Annadatas and they let go of the PFI cases.
Lavanya, the
1,500
argument from the
people, they leave them
BJP seems to
accused.
be give reservation to Panchamasalis, the rest
Agitations
can be
made
looked
it
at
into
later.
bloodshed.
Well, Harish, I don't think it is as easy as discussing here
Yeah, that's
or
why because
blaming or
amicable settlement
making
was done by Mr.
allegations.
Bommai. Why did you go against that in the court then? The government which has
let
done,
Lavanya make
they've
that
got
point.
the violence
I'll come
in
back
this
to that.
peaceful
Harish, if you
agitation
could
and they
mute
talk
your
about the
audio,
peace in the
please.
national television.
Ms. Sudha, let Lavanya make a point. I'll come back to you. I'll give you opportunity.
The reservation that she speaks about for the minority community is not based on religion, one, and also it is perfectly correct on all communities to ask for what they want. They are within their rights to protest. OBC as well as the Panchamasalis are all within their rights to demand their voice be heard. But if you look at the four committees that I've mentioned previously, Harish, the committees all clearly mention that the Panchamasali community is powerful, rich, and educated, and that they do not
There are a
need
lot of
the
poor people.
support. The rest of the communities, that the 3B communities, rest of them have right now under 2A. That
Yeah,
is
essentially
what
they're
this
not the
commission.
most backward is the argument.
No, that's what these commission reports are saying. This is not my statement, Harish. The
Yes.
commissions are saying that this
Yes.
particular community in the Lingayats are powerful, educated, and rich, is what they claim, and that they do not need an helping hand like the rest of the communities in 2A currently are in need of. So whatever the agitation, the agitation should be peaceful. And as far as people saying the CM should have come and met them, CM had previous commitments, he couldn't meet them, but there were other ministers in the cabinet who have come and met them, who have taken their requests and gone. And of course, the Swamiji had to be escorted to safety because it was not a safe environment for the Swamiji to be there. So the police have escorted Swamiji to safety. They have done everything possible. At this point of time, I think the BJP also needs to understand it is not political gains that they should be looking at. They should be looking at,
Who is
peace in
looking
the
at the
state
political gain and who has the political
and
gain?
instigate the community into creating a
Okay.
violence in the state of Karnataka.
Okay, Mr. Ramakrishna Upadhyaya, I was talking to a few people, and one of the concerns that they had is they're saying that perhaps it's not just about the percentage. The reason that many of them are asking for 2A reservation is because then it will give them political reservation as well, not just in jobs and education. Do you feel that that's also perhaps one of the intent of this entire protest?
I think so. See, they are very, very powerful and they are very articulate sections of society. And these people have had the best of, I mean, as Ms. Ballal was saying, these are all forward communities. I don't know how they can go on
So when
demanding.
they are into
No.
farming, how can they
Please
come into
listen
the
to me,
forward
madam.
community?
You have your say. Please listen to me. And these are all very forward communities, and they have, over the period of time, enjoyed benefits. And they should allow the other people, poor people in other communities, to come forward. And even within the OBCs or other communities, those who have enjoyed those powers, they should be allowing the other people to come in. See, that is where the creamy layer comes in. The Supreme Court has been saying that you identify the creamy layer and keep them out, and so that more and more people at the bottom get the reservation, so that no political party is interested in. See, that is the crux of the matter. There is no point in continuing this reservation system
Yes.
as long as only the top 5% or 10% hog all the reservation. What about the rest? What about the 80-90% of the
Ms.
people
Sudha?
who remain with without any
Harish,
kind of
I'll
a
come back.
benefit?
Yes.
Harish, what they're saying
Yeah.
is, they're
Ms.
into
Sudha,
the
do you
creamy
believe
sector of the...
one,
Yeah, tell
one,
me.
one question that I have for you is, do you believe if the reservation is reworked according to the caste survey, caste census details and the data of it, perhaps then many of these answers will be, many of these questions would be answered, whether they're backward, forward, how much of the percentage is economically backward, what sort of a reservation do they need?
But the caste census itself is flawed.
Harish,
The caste census itself is flawed.
Yeah.
The
That's a
report-
different story altogether.
Yeah, that's it. 1 minute, Harish. I
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
get into the
Ms.
main
Sudha, please
point. As I told you, the major community, the major sector of the community, they are into the farming. That is the Annadatas, farmers, okay?
Yeah.
In Karnataka, in 15 months, more than 1,700 farmers have committed suicide, Harish. What answer they are going to give? Why will they,
Yes.
they're into the creamy sector of the society, why would they would have committed the suicide? There's drought, there's flood, there is cancellation of all the schemes for the farmers by the Siddaramaiah government. There is increase in the tariff and the
So,
seed prices.
are they all Panchamasalis,
Everything
madam?
against the farmers they're doing.
All
Sir, I
those
told major
1,700
sector.
people are
I'm saying
Panchamasalis?
major
Ma'am,
sector-
agrarian
major
crisis is
sector of the
across the
society.
country, ma'am, not just the
major
state.
sector of the society. I'm saying the major sector of the Panchamasalis, they're into the farming, and this is
Okay.
a known fact. There's nothing hidden about it. I'm not saying all of them are into Panchamasalis. Okay, and earlier also,
Okay.
whatever amicable settlement we could have done, whatever best we could have done to the Panchamasalis, we have done it to get into the 2D. Why they went against that also? And why did they get into Lati charge? Please let them answer today. They're the innocent people who had
Okay.
asked for their rights.
Fine.
There was no need of bloodshed
Harish,
over there.
Ma'am,
Quick word.
unfortunately, I'm out of time on this debate.
Just a quick word. Just
Lavanya,
a quick
final word, 10
Harish.
seconds.
Yeah. BJP, when it was in power, it had shot our farmers who demanded for fertilizers. So it is pretty rich coming from the BJP saying farmers are being,
Okay.
ill-treated.
The
The
best-
BJP government
So
is the one
why
who
did,
All right.
why did
three
Congress
farm
government in
laws in
Karnataka take
Karnataka
up
as well,
4,000
which was one of the
4,000
requests
rupees,
by the farmers in
4,000
Belgaum.
farmers scheme, why
Miss
it is
Sudha,
not
Okay,
come
now
back by
we
the
are getting into a lot of
We are talking
in a
about
debate.
political
Let us be
blame game,
pertinent
but
to the
unfortunately, we are left with no time for that. Thank you, Lavanya Balal. Thank you, Ms. Sudha Halkai, and thank you, Mr. Ramakrishna Upadhyaya, for joining us on this show. But one thing is for sure, there is a lot of politics in this entire controversy. How will the government handle this? And also, how will they also ensure that they do not antagonize the other communities who have similar demand of increasing reservation? Well, that was our top story of the week. Time for a quick roundup of all the other major stories from across South India.
Politics has broken out over the Wayanad relief right now. Wayanad in Kerala saw a disastrous series of landslides few months ago, and now politics has broken over it in Karnataka now. The Karnataka government had committed to build 100 houses there in Wayanad for people who had been displaced by the disastrous landslide, and has now reminded the Kerala government for not having given any guidelines or any direction in this regard, so that the Karnataka government could fulfill its commitment. The BJP has said that the government was not taking care of the infrastructure here and not focusing on what the state needed, and was going out of its way to provide stuff for the needy in Wayanad. Bengaluru and India has witnessed one of its most sensational suicide cases ever, with links all the way in Uttar Pradesh. Atul Subhash, a native of UP working as a techie at a top firm in Bengaluru, committed suicide at his Marathalli residence early on Monday morning. He has alleged in a disturbingly detailed suicide note that he had faced a lot of harassment from his wife and her family members for money, alimony, and he even had to battle for the custody of the son. The sensational case and the hour-long video that he has shared with many of his friends has been widely circulated online and has ignited a debate on men's rights and the status of the mental health of men in India. The police are on the lookout for the accused, and a team from Bengaluru has even reached UP, and further investigation is awaited.
Tamil Nadu Assembly had moved a resolution urging the union government to cancel mining rights for tungsten granted to Hindustan Zinc Limited in Madurai district. The BJP, however, says that initially the state government was in favour of tungsten mining in Madurai, but because of the protests they faced from the farmers and the local residents there, they are now blaming the union government. Annamalai, while addressing the media, said that the union government will reconsider its decision and that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first focus is on the farmers, and if this goes against the farmers' community, then the union government will review its decision. War of words between actors Dhanush and Nayanthara is only escalating further. Now, Dhanush's Wonderbar Films had told the Madras High Court that Nayanthara and Vignesh Shivan had behaved in a highly unprofessional behaviour during the shoot of Nanum Rowdythan, which led to the escalation of film's cost, thereby reducing the profits. This was after Nayanthara, in an open scathing letter, had accused Dhanush of making certain inappropriate statements during the shoot of Nanum Rowdythan because of the kind of personal grudge that he had against the couple. Meanwhile, the Madras High Court has given time till the 8th of January for Nayanthara to respond to Dhanush in the Madras High Court. A fire broke out at a private hospital in Tamil Nadu's Dindigul district, leading to the deaths of 6 people and left at least 20 injured. Those 6 were the ones who were stranded in the lift, and when they were rushed to the hospital, they were declared brought dead. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has announced a compensation of 3 lakh rupees to the families of the deceased and has also ordered special treatment for those who have suffered injuries because of the tragic incident.
Difference of opinion in Congress-led UDF over the ownership of Munambam land. Indian Union Muslim League, which is an ally of Congress, has said that the land belongs to Waqf, but at the same time the residents there should not be evicted. This, as opposition leader V.D. Satishan maintains that the land is not Waqf land. It's curtains up on the 29th edition of International Film Festival of Kerala. Over the next 7 days, 177 films from 68 countries will be screened across 15 theatres in the city. Noted film actor Shabana Azmi is the guest of honor for the 29th edition of IFFK.
Well, that's all we could pack in this edition of Sensational South. We'll be back next week with more stories. Thank you for watching.